So you're planning to be a music major this fall. Congrats, you've just made what I believe is the coolest decision of all time. Being a music major is incredibly rewarding. And because of the challenges of the major, you're going to make a really great group of friends with your colleagues. However, there are some things that you will be required to do that nobody warns you about. So that's why I'm making this video. As a retired piano professor for years, I saw so many freshman music majors enter the program with great enthusiasm, and just for that enthusiasm to wane right away in the week preceding classes and the first week of classes, as they come to the realization that there's a lot more going on than they knew would be happening. So here's my little take for you just to help you have a smoother transition into your freshman year of classes. Number one, you will be required to take 0 credit classes. One of these classes is called Recital Hour. That's where the entire music department gets together, all of the students, and you take turns performing for each other. You meet for 1 hour a week and you get 0 credits for it. However, it's required. And most likely, your applied teacher, the teacher who gives you private lessons on your instrument, will require you to perform in this once a semester. Now, don't get too scared. You're going to work on this throughout the semester. You'll have your teacher's guidance and you'll have opportunities to play in front of your colleagues before recital hour. But just have in mind that it's coming. Everybody has to do it. So you're going through this with all of your colleagues at every level of study. The other 0 credit class is also called studio class. So studio class is what you take with your fellow musicians who are also studying the same instrument with your primary professor. So your studio professor has 5 to 10 to 15 other flute students, and you will all meet probably once a week to have studio class together. So it's a great way for you to perform things that are new to you, to get used to playing in front of people, and to get feedback from your fellow students. And so, again, probably meets once a week for approximately 1 hour, but you get 0 hours credit. These are required for your degree, and you have to do them. Another surprise for most freshmen is that you will take a 1 credit class that meets for multiple hours a week. Now, again, it doesn't seem fair, but as music majors, this is what we do because so much of your study depends on you playing and performing, sometimes as a soloist, like for recital hour and studio hour that we just talked about, but then also as part of a large ensemble, meaning as a part of choir, orchestra, or band, or whatever large ensembles your school offers. So you may get 1 credit for playing a marching band, but you'll be rehearsing 5 days a week and performing on weekends. You will maybe get 1 hour of credit for orchestra or for choir, but again, you're meeting 5 hours a week for class and performing. Class piano. Yes, every music major is required to develop proficiency in piano. And the most effective way for your university to train you in those piano skills is in class piano, where there can be up to 16 students in a piano lab connected through headphones with the teacher, leading them through their exercises and learning how to play piano. You will meet 2 to 3 times per week. You will have assignments to practice every day. You will have playing tests, and you get 1 hour of credit. Sight singing and ear training class is considered a lab. Most of the places where I taught it met twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, because it was a lab, it was like an hour and 20 minutes, and you will get 1 credit for this class. And you will have to practice outside of class, and you will take tests where you have to sing. You will take tests where you listen and identify what you hear, but it's all for 1 glorious credit. Welcome to being a music major. And finally, another thing that I was not aware of, I knew I'd have to take private lessons, but at college they're called applied lessons. Now, what surprises me, as a pianist, I've always taken private lessons, so that wasn't a big change. But for some of my friends who had sung in choir, all through high school, and they were going to be choir directors. So their degree plan was music education. They had to take private voice lessons, and this was very surprising to them because no one had told them. And I've heard the same thing happen for students who are in band or an orchestra, right? They go into a music education degree, so they want to be choir directors and orchestra directors. But a part of their degree plan as a music major is taking applied lessons or private lessons. These lessons meet once a week for approximately 1 hour, and you will have to practice 2 to 3 hours a day just for your private lesson. And you will get 1 to 2 credits for all of that work. Welcome to being a music major. That's just what we do. Finally, the last thing for this video that I want to talk about that nobody warned me about, and we kind of forget to warn future students, is that you have to play juries at the end of every semester. I remember as a freshman being told this, and I went, what are juries? It sounds like I'm on trial and I did something wrong, and I did nothing wrong. And the upperclassman who I'd asked this of was very kind, and she chuckled, goes, no, that's not it. That's just what we call your finals for your private lessons. So maybe some of you are familiar with this term already, but it just means that at the end of the semester, you and your teacher will have worked on specific repertoire, specific technical skills, and you will play a small portion of those for a jury. So pianists play in front of the piano faculty, usually 2 or 3 faculty members. The brass people, I'll play in front of the brass faculty, and these faculty will give you written comments and a grade and feedback. That's your final for your applied lessons every semester. I hope that this information has helped you feel a little more oriented to what it's like to be a music major and the things will be required of you. I really hope that this does not discourage you from being a music major. If you love playing music, if you love studying music, and you want to make it your career, to share that with others, whether through performance or through education or through another career path. But just some helpful information so you know what's coming and you can avoid the overwhelm.